Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Valentine's Day. Actually today I was planning on filming something entirely different and sitting down and editing that video today, but it was a very different video. It had nothing to do with Valentine's Day, and I saw Melody over at Melody Rose do this and I said, that's a good idea. That's nice. So that's what we're doing today. We are doing the Cupid's book tag? Cupid's tag? Cupid's reading tag. Cupid tag. I saw last year that Noelle did this. I will leave her down below as well. I think she's the originator. I'm pretty sure. But I saw her do this last year, and that's where Melody got the inspiration from and the tag from. So now here I am doing it as well, being the little follower that I am. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. I was gonna get a reading vlog out today, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't started the books yet. So yeah. Keep an eye out. At some point you will get a romance reading vlog from me in the month of love in February. So yeah, that's on the agenda. Have to start that, have to read those books. My work schedule this week has been weird, and so yeah, I also have to take the dog to the vet in like 2 hours, so fun times. Let's just jump into this tag already. The first question is, what is like your perfect candy to read with? Now, I've had a hard time with this. I really love sweets, especially chocolate sweets, but I don't really want to eat chocolate whilst I'm reading a physical book because I don't want to get chocolate on the pages, because that would be so embarrassing. But yet my only answer that I could come up with that was sweet was chocolate covered pretzels, which is still chocolate. So fingers crossed that whenever I have this snack as I read, I do not ruin my books. But yeah, overall, like, I love sweets, but it's more like ice cream, truffles, chocolate covered pretzels, very chocolate heavy things, or random sweets like nerd ropes. Like, yeah, there's a little in between, but nerds, just like, if you're not careful, they get all over the place. What I'm discovering is that I prefer messy snacks. Question number 2 is your favorite song that reminds you of your favorite romance, and or your favorite romantic song or romance song. I don't read a lot of romance. Fun fact. I don't read a lot of romance. If I do, it's typically going to be like fantasy romance, but nothing, like, I don't have songs that remind me of books very often. I would like to get better about that, but I'm just like not good at that. So we're gonna work on that. But I decided to go like favorite romance song, and it's actually like unofficially my boyfriend and I's song. We don't really have like our song, but one of our favorite movies, especially my favorite movies, is Rent the musical, and the song I'll Cover You, so good, is like our unofficial song. Like, I hear it and I think of us and those moments that we've spent together watching it and so on. Rent is no longer on Broadway. I missed their farewell tour when it came to Eugene in December. I'm still a little heartbroken about it. But now, like, small theaters can put Rent on, so I'm sure I will get a chance to see it. Just breaks my heart, though. So yeah, that's my answer. I don't really have like a romance book that songs remind me of. I don't even have fantasy books that songs typically remind me of. I have one song. I don't remember what it is. The next question is, where would your perfect reading date be? It could be very specific, or it could just be like a broad answer like the beach. For this, I kind of have 2 answers. I have the answers in which I've done before and enjoy doing, which is sitting at vineyards in Oregon. We have a lot. They're beautiful, especially during like spring and summer when it's very sunny and warm. You can just like go sit, like a little picnic, read your books, sip on some wine, even though I don't really like wine. It's a good time. But the book date that I've somehow still never done, which kind of hurts my soul a little bit every time, I've never had a coffee book date. I've never been to a cafe with somebody or myself even and have sat there and like read a book. Never. Not once have I gone to a cafe to read. I want to sit in like those big comfortable chairs. I'm specifically thinking of a restaurant that has those comfy chairs, not a cafe, but I wouldn't typically read at like a restaurant, but I'm thinking like big comfy chairs where you can sit back and like order 2 coffees and just read with a little like buzz of cafe around you. I don't know. That just sounds so nice. And I know that's like incredibly obtainable, but I don't generally like leaving the house by myself, especially to like new environments. I get really anxious. So since I don't like do that, I'm just impatiently waiting for somebody to be like, let's go to a coffee shop, and I'll be like, yes please. So until then, that's my dream date. Question number 4 is favorite friendship in a book, and that should be like a really easy answer, and it's really not. I don't read a lot of like friendship centric books that you're really like, wow, best friends, love it. I would say that if I've read the book, which I have not read this book, but Grady Hendrix' My Best Friend's Exorcism, everyone says that like that's like the peak friendship in a book. But for me, based on the books that I have read, Alatsaway by Darcy Little Badger, I love it. Our main character, Alatsaway, is asexual, and she has absolutely no interest in her best friend, and so I just really like their banter, I like their friendship, I like how they play off of each other and are close, and I don't know, I just like that's always my answer for this question every time for the past 2 years. Recommend friendship books if you have any down below, and I can maybe broaden my arena of friend books instead of romance books. But yeah, Alatsaway, I just really love them, and I love the book. So if you haven't read Alatsaway, go read it right now. Go read. The next question is really difficult for me, I'm not gonna lie, and it's to create like your perfect bouquet for your favorite book or for your favorite character. And my favorite books tend to lean on like The Night Circus and Caraval. Those are 2 books that like always stand out to me as some of my all-time favorites, and they're both like performance-based books. Caraval is a game, The Night Circus is a magical circus, and so I think of those a lot, and when I think of those I think of red roses, because that's what you gift performers. So if you go to a musical or a play, you often give a bouquet of roses as like a good job, you did great, congrats. I remember when I was in musicals and I performed at the Whole Center, my parents would like bring me bouquets of flowers, and people, it was a school thing, and so like parents would bring all of their kids flowers and share the flowers with the other kids and performers. It was a lot of fun. And so I'm just picturing like roses and baby's breath, because those just like look really good together. That's what I got for Valentine's Day. But yeah, those are like you can't go wrong with giving somebody roses, especially for like a performance-based book. I know that's so basic and boring, but like that's the best I can do right now. So the next question is something I love, and it is, what is a book or a couple that you want to revisit, not necessarily in a full sequel, because you don't really need a plot or book, but just like a slice of life glimpse to check in on how they're doing. And I'm super familiar with this because A Dowry of Blood actually did that. A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. There is a companion piece. You can find it on the internet. It's free. It's like 16 pages. And you can read a follow-up of the characters from A Dowry of Blood, which I remember when I finished reading A Dowry of Blood, I desperately needed that. I was like, I need these characters again. I need to know where they're at. I need to know how they are, if they're happy. Like, I really needed that in my deepest of souls, and S.T. Gibson provided that. And so that's obviously a really big one for me. But it already exists. It is out. It's in the world. You can find it. You can read it. It's a good time. I highly recommend. It's so nice seeing the characters back together. But as for who I would want to see, it's so difficult because a lot of the couples that I love, like the couple in The Wrath and the Dawn, I haven't yet read the sequel, so I can't say like I want to see a slice of life of them because I don't know what's gonna happen in here. But I love this couple. This is like one of my favorite fantasy romances of all time. And so I want to know like how they're doing and where they're at. But at the same time, it exists. I just have to read it. And then maybe when I finish this, I'll have a different answer. But until I read the sequel, I can't very well say that I want to see more of them because I just have to read the sequel. And so going off standalone fantasy romances that I really enjoyed and have read and finished, my favorite couple of 2022 was Ezra and Brynn. So I'm gonna have to say The Last Legacy, I suppose, by Adrienne Young. I adored this couple so much. This is a companion novel to the Fable duology. I guess kind of trilogy. Anyway, this is, Ezra is seen in Fable. He's like a side character, and then Brynn is introduced in this book, and I just love their relationship dynamic so much. I love them, and I would love to know where they're at, how they're doing, how they're getting on. The ending really leaves like a lot of imaginative like what ifs for them. But yeah, I would love to check in with them. I think of all the characters, I do wonder a lot, like authors that write about their characters. I know Alice Oseman's a great example. They wrote Heartstopper, but they also have Loveless and Solitaire, which follow kind of in the same universe and world, but because it's a graphic novel, maybe it's a little bit different. I don't know. I don't talk to authors, but Alice Oseman has like their own fanfic of Nick and Charlie like in the future. Like Alice Oseman's thought of her characters so in advance, which I think is so cool. And so I want to know, like, from more authors, do you picture what happens after your book? The Fault in Our Stars, that conversation of like, do you picture your characters when you finish the book? Do you still think about them? Do you have like an idea of where they're at? Because I think as a, like, for my writing, I think I would. I think that I picture a lot for my characters, and so I need to know. And if so, please give it to us. Please release it to the public. We would all like to see it, I'm sure. Thanks. Alright, the next question is, what date in a book and or movie would you want to go on? And my answer is completely vague and generic because I don't go on a lot of dates with my boyfriend, but at the same time we go on a lot of dates. Like, our dates are very like dinner centric because I love food. That's the truth of it. I really enjoy food, so like we focus on the dinner aspects of dates more so than anything else. We also go to the arcade a lot. That's like one of our big date spots. So I don't have like a lot of, oh, I really want to do that. But traveling. Traveling is a very big part of our lives, and about once a year we try so hard to go on like one mini vacation for like a weekend or something, or a week if we can. And that's like a very big part of our dating life, is going somewhere. And the like top two like romance places that I think of when I want to go travel with my partner is New York and France. Those are like the two poppin' spots that I'm like, yes please, take me to them. I would like to see them. So it's very vague. They don't come from like specific books or movies. Like Rent it takes place in New York, and that's a very big love story that I absolutely adore and love. France, Paris, the city of love. And so like they just make sense to me, but they're very vague because the things that I'm gonna want to do in those places are more like personal, not necessarily based on any. That's not entirely true. Like Broadway I'm gonna see, and like Moulin Rouge, and those are kind of romance movies, so those are my answers. New York and France are like the top romance date travel places that I would like to go to. Number 8, I don't like. What is your favorite nickname from a book? And honestly, I don't know. I don't think I have any. I can't think of one, at least. There's not like a book that I'm like, oh, that pet name is so cute or anything. Like, I just can't think of one. I'm sure there is one, but I don't know it. So, moving on to the last question, which is anticipated romance reads. These can be new releases, these could be backlists that you just really want to get to, and 2 trilogies that I really want. So Helen Kwong is a romance author that I'm very interested. There's The Kiss Quotient, there's The Bride Test, which I'm the least interested, and there's the third one that I don't remember. There's also Talia Hilbert, who wrote the Brown Sister trilogy that I'm interested in reading, following Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hint, Danny Brown, and the other one. You know what I'm talking about, though. So those are like true romance books that I'm really interested in reading, and then there's a few others sprinkled in that I'm hoping to get to like this month for sure. But primarily my focus is fantasy romance. Fantasy romance is where it's at for me personally. Like, if I want romance, I want it to be fantasy. But my brain my brain comes pretty blank. I have not been able to deduce what kind of fantasy romances I like. I don't know what tropes I prefer. I'm not sure what I'm looking for in them. Obviously the plot is a big role, but as for like couple things, I don't know. I just don't know. Things that I have enjoyed, The Enchantment of Ravens, Girls of Paper and Fire, The Wrath and the Dawn. Love The Wrath and the Dawn. So I like those kinds of books. Carvel, The Night Circus. You know, I love romance in my fantasy, but there's nothing that I'm like jumping for joy to get to, or like is very high on top of my list, which is so sad. I really need to read more fantasy romance. I've been leaning a lot of like fantasy horror because that's my favorite genre, but I really need to start incorporating more fantasy romance into my life, because fantasy makes me so happy, and when there's like a hint of romance in it, it makes me even happier, because I do love love. I'm a hopeless romantic on the inside, I promise. So yeah, I don't have a great answer for this. I have some romance books that I'm really intrigued to get to, but romance books wise, I don't know yet. So if you have suggestions for fantasy romances you think I should check out, leave them down in the comments below so that I can do such things. And that's going to be it for this video. That's the last question. This is a shorter video because I have to edit this and get it up today. Yeah, she's doing great. So that's gonna be it for this video. Stay tuned. I think I'm gonna try and have a vlog out Thursday for you guys, and then the rest of my schedule for the month has kind of been flip-floppy based on what I'm able to accomplish. So until then, I will see you guys in my next video very soon, Thursday. And I hope you have a great Valentine's Day. Spend it with your honey, spend it with your friends, some self-care. Valentine's Day is so important. Go buy yourself some flowers, eat some chocolate, take a nice bubble bath, and read a really good romance book. Bye!